Hello and welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be taking a look at what's the best crop for the garden pots. Now, I'm going to be assuming that you're going to be filling up a shed with garden pots, and that one shed can fit about, I noted this down at the other day. One big shed can store up to 137 processing machines or garden pots or whatever you want to say. So we're going to assume that you put in 137 garden pots into a big shed. Well, that's not going to be, and that's just going to be important for the end numbers. Now, and as you can see here, garden pots accept crop seeds other than Asian seeds, which means I've already done most of the work for this video, because if I switch over to make sure I'm actually in the right thing, yes I am, switch over to Discord, where is it? Oh, it's not here. I'll just switch over to screen one then, and then do that. There we go. So in the last video, I did a bunch of mathing and figuring out which crop is the most profitable per season. So like spring, the most profitable one was strawberries, and so on and so on. And I did, like down here we've got like Asian seed, Asian fruit, which can't be put into garden pots, so it's not. It's not really a contender here, but it is the most valuable, even if you just go in by per season. Like if you divide it by 3, it's still the most valuable crop for that season. So yeah, we got some cool stuff. So So you may be saying, oh well, if you can just put any of these seeds in, then you just find like the most valuable one. So like 375 profit, K profit, 708K profit. I don't know if you can put hops in. I don't think you can put. It didn't say anything about that. And like, strawberries, 242,000 profit. You just pick one of these, whichever one you can do, and you're good to go. But there are some differences with this. So the crop, when you put a garden pot in a shed and then put that crop into the garden pot, then you don't need You still have to water them, and you can do it with sprinklers, but you can put like deluxe retaining soil fertilizer in there, so you only have to water them once. But no matter the season, no matter if the season ends or what season it is, the crops will never die. So it is better to put crops that produce like multiple they continuously produce, is what I'm trying to say, because that'll just give you more profit, because you only have the initial cost of getting the seeds, and then they're just going to continuously produce over and over and over. Where with crops that don't do that, like the sweet gemberries, with them, you're going to have to factor in the fact that every time you harvest them, you are going to have to pay for take the financial hit to get the seeds in the seed maker, which from my experience is approximately 1.5 seeds every thing you put in. Now, but this is really good for. But this is quite good for stuff like pineapple here. Now, originally, I did do a little bit of extra maths, because I didn't consider using the seed maker to get the seeds, but even then it's still not profitable. I've got the maths I've got the numbers here, but you can also check the pinned comment on the previous video. So, while pineapples may not be profitable in summer, because you're only going to get like a couple of harvests out of them before they die, with this, they may not be profitable for like the first 1 or 2 harvests. After that, you are going to get let's say it's 25k profit per harvest, with like, and it's like 80k cost to plant them if you're just buying the seeds, or if you're so let's say you're like made them with the seeds with the seed maker, and you got really unlucky and it's and you're 100k in with less profit. That means it would only take 4 harvests. It would take 4 harvests to break even, but then after that it's just going to continuously produce again and again and again. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take each crop in here that has multiple harvests. Now, I'm going to have to double check stuff like hops, and that, crops I'm not 100% sure. I will be double checking in the Stardew Valley wiki to make absolutely sure that they can be placed into garden pots. And if I can't find anything on the wiki, then I'll just have to put a note to one side, just like, I'm not 100% sure they can go into garden pots, but if they can, then this is where they would place in how profitable they are. But yeah, I'm going to go do that, and then I'll be right back. So I want to quickly make a couple of talk about a couple of mistakes I made in the last video. So, firstly, the pineapples are now gone up to here, because I noticed while I was doing this that I accidentally missed out a 0 in the value, so that was basically 1/10 of its value, which, really nerfed it, but now it's no longer, so now pineapples are there. And another one that I made a mistake on was cranberries, because while I was doing this, I noticed that on the wiki it said that cranberries, you get 2 per cranberry bush. So I've now factored that into this, meaning that it is now actually one of the most profitable crops when you mine it. Even more profitable than the sweet gemberry, surprisingly. But it does take more work than the sweet gemberry. Because this is just like if you like sold 100 silver qualities, which again, watch the original video to talk about like why I did that, and like I put a pin comment and replied to the pin comment about those two. One I didn't talk about, which isn't too much of a trouble, which isn't a big difference, is strawberries. I forgot to factor in the 2% chance to get extra strawberries, so I just took the original value, added 2% to that, then subtracted 10,000 to get that, which is slightly more than what it was. And this is I'm doing this so looking at these numbers, you obviously think, well, like, hops are obviously going to be the best, because where are hops? They are summer. They, when you make them into pale ale, they generate 708,000 gold in one season, which is far more than the cranberries, which I'm pretty sure is the second closest, which generates 291,000. Any other starfruit 550,000, so that generates more. Well, that's not going to be factored into this. And like strawberries at like 247,000. And yes, that is true. hops are the most profitable crop to put into plant pots, and I went into Stardew Valley on my one of my saves, and checked to make sure they could be put in plant pots, and they can. I think that might have been changed because I could remember you weren't able to do that. And then the second most valuable is pineapples. And basically how I did this is I have multiple. So the main criteria I used was seasonal revenue, which so this is basically once it's fully matured, how much money will this make you every season? And because this produces every day, that got really high up there. So yeah, and then the cost of planting all them, and then break even time. So like how many harvests you need to do to once you've sold the processed stuff. So this is assuming you're processing all these hops into pale ale. How many harvests you need to do before you break even. And like with pineapple, the main killer of the pineapple is only produces every 7 days, which means its seasonal revenue is 690,480. Nearly 1 million less than the hops. The cost is still quite high, but your break-even time is still one harvest. Strawberries, once they mature, they produce every 4 days. Seasonal revenue of 493,002. It'll cost you 13,700. Great, and one harvest to break even. Cranberries. Now, yeah, this is the surprising part. Strawberries are more profitable than cranberries, and that's because the strawberries take one less day to between harvests. Which you may be saying, well, if that's true, then why aren't they more profitable just as outside of the farm, the crop pots or whatever, the garden pots? And that's because when it comes to the seasons, that one extra day doesn't actually allow it to yield an extra harvest, which means that because you harvest 2 cranberries per, and you're basically getting double the amount of cranberries than you are strawberries. That means that normally cranberries can overtake strawberries in profitability, but in the garden pots, that one extra day comes into effect because that basically gives you more profit per season, because you'll be able to start the season off with it fully grown, and then it just produces every 4 days, so it starts adding up more and more and more. Yeah, strawberry seasonal revenue 493,002. Cost harvest. Cranberries, once mature, they produce every 5 days. Seasonal revenue of 483,336. And you can see that just how close they are. It's only literally like just less than 10,000 gold off each other. And that's how much that's because that's that one extra day, just giving it the tiniest bit of extra revenue to just barely squeak past the cranberries, plus the extra 2% that you get from the strawberries. Anyway, cost you 52,000, and that's why I also put it here, because it's also the seeds cost a lot more than strawberry seeds, but still you're going to be profitable after the first harvest. Grapes, after maturity, they produce every 3 days. Seasonal revenue of 429,632. Cost you 8,220 gold. Break even time after the first harvest. Cactus fruit produce every 3 days. Seasonal revenue of 402,780. It'll cost you 20,550. Gold, break even time on harvest. And And you may be thinking that why did you even bother calculating the break-even time? Yeah, you're going to see why in a minute. Summer squash. Once mature, they produce every 3 days. Seasonal revenue of 250,618. Cost 0 to 26,852. So that's basically like, oh, you could get them all for free from like artifact spots and stuff. But if you use the seed maker to make the seeds, then it's going to cost you about up to 26,852. Break even time 0 to 1 harvests. Hot pepper. Once matured, will produce every 3 days. Seasonal revenue of 232,717. Cost of 5,480. Break even time 1 harvest. Here we go. Coffee bean. Once matured, will produce every 2 days, which initially you think, oh, that's quite good. But yeah, you can see how far down on the list it is. Seasonal revenue of 230,160. And it's a cost, and it'll cost you 0 to 137,000. That's like 0 if you just like get it from killing stuff in the mine, killing the dust sprites in the mines, to 137,000, and that's if you're like buying them all from the traveling merchant. But you can also just like replant the coffee beans you get, and break even time is 0 to 9 harvests. You have to harvest this 9 times if you bought them all, just to break even. Now, you're probably not going to buy all of your coffee beans that way, and you are probably going to be replanting a lot of them, but that's still pretty bad. The main kill of this one is that you need 5 coffee beans to make 1 cup of coffee, and you get 4 beans per coffee plant, and because of that, it just kind of kills it. Like if they just got 1 extra bean, or even like the chance to get 1 extra bean, that would probably bump it up to maybe better than summer squash. But because of that, it is kind of just like, oh yeah, it is basically almost halving your profits, because you need to harvest 2 coffee beans to. Well, no, it's not exactly 2. So if it's 4 per, and so you need to so for every 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so for every 5 you harvest, that's 4 cups of coffee. So that's like 20%. That's just 20% of your crops basically not doing anything. When compared to like all of these, it's a 1-to-1. You'll get like 100% of your hot peppers are going to be processed, but like 100% of your hot pepper plants will give you 1 thing, where this will only for every 10 coffee plants you get, you'll only get 8 cups of coffee. Tomatoes, once mature, they produce every 4 days. Seasonal revenue 282,242. Cost you 6,850. And you will break even after 1 harvest. Corn produces every 4 days. Seasonal revenue of 201,390. Cost you 20,550. Break even after 1 harvest. Green beans produce the absolute worst. Produce every 3 days. Seasonal revenue of 163,669. Nice. Well, not so nice in this case. Cost you 8,220. You do break even after the first harvest. So yeah. Honestly, not too many surprises here. Like, I'm pretty sure like you used to not be able to put hops in, so I had to check that, but yeah, you can. Also, it's not too surprising that topped it off. And then pineapples, I believe that when you couldn't put hops in there, they were the most valuable, so obviously they'd be number 2. I was a bit surprised that strawberries just barely eking out eking out of both cranberries. I'm a little bit surprised, and this actually did confuse me for me because I was looking at this like, wait a minute, strawberries produce more than cranberries here, but up here, what is going on with Discord? Oh, I accidentally hit middle click. But over here, up here I had the cranberries overtaking the strawberries in profitability. So I literally went back and double checked all my maths for all four numbers. And then I just realised, oh yeah, it's because they take, and I looked at the seasonal map. I was like, okay, so, and that's when I realised, strawberries don't actually get any extra harvests normally outside of the plant pots because of how long months are. Anyway, so yeah, I hope you guys all did enjoy this video. I hope you found it informative, useful, and my webcam was probably blocking all that. Anyway, I hope you did enjoy. I hope to see you guys in the next video, and bye-bye.